The following material is presented by Alberta Employment Standards employees for educational purposes only and is not intended to be used as a source of legal advice.
Most employees, including those who are paid a salary, must be paid overtime pay for the overtime hours they work. Overtime is defined as all hours worked in excess of 8 hours a day or 44 hours a week, whichever is greater. Overtime pay must be at least 1.5 times the regular rate of pay. An employer may give paid time off instead of paying out overtime hours. Note that banked overtime hours are considered wages, so vacation pay is owed on these hours. There are two types of agreements to establish the nature of overtime pay and time paid in lieu: individual agreements and group agreements. An individual overtime agreement is between one employee and an employer. A group overtime agreement is between an employer and a group of employees. The employer and a majority of the employees in the group must sign the agreement in order for it to be valid. Both individual and group agreements may be cancelled or changed by either party by giving 1 month's written notice. Whenever an overtime agreement is in place, the employer must document and retain up-to-date records of the overtime hours banked and taken by the employee. Employers must also provide employees with pay statements showing the number of banked overtime hours taken with regular pay by the employee for each pay period. The code requires that banked overtime be used within 3 months of the end of the pay period in which it was earned. If the overtime is not used in that time period, it must be paid out at a rate of at least 1.5 times the employee's wage rate. An exception to this is where a collective agreement specifies otherwise. A permit from the director is required where 3 months is insufficient and flexibility is necessary when using up the banked time.